Hi, today's video I'm going to focus on loneliness, particularly loneliness for young men. There's very high suicide rates amongst young men, and much of that can be traced back to loneliness. So we all know loneliness is pretty tough, and you might, as a young man, find yourself in a cycle of short-term flings, casual hookups, or one-night stands that just leave you feeling unfulfilled and just yearning for something deeper, especially as as you nudge up into your late 20s and 30s, you start to want something, more meaningful. You want a girlfriend, you want a partner that you can build a life with. But somehow the women that you meet don't seem to meet um, the what you envision a person, a life partner, a future life partner, someone you could share a future with. So if this sounds like you're not alone. You're probably unaware of how out of alignment your actions are with your core values and relationship goals. In this video, we'll explore how to break free from this cycle and connect with women who do align with your values and your deepest desires, and ultimately to move beyond loneliness to find a fulfilling long-term relationships. So here's a few steps that would take you from loneliness to finding a partner who fits with your values. So first of all, reflect on what you truly want. That's the first step, breaking out of shallow relationships. So take a moment to reflect on what kind of relationship you actually really want. I've looked at a number of young men have shown me the profiles for their that they've put on dating sites, and they say things like, want somebody to have fun nights with or fun weekends and all of that. And actually, they've just told me how they're longing for a lovely life partner that they can plan a future, they can go traveling with, they can make a home with, they can have a family with, and they don't put any of that in their profile. And when I say to them, well, why haven't you said anything? They say, oh, well, that would put people off. Well, no, it wouldn't put people off. It would put people off who are not the right person for you. And actually, the right person for you doesn't want to have fun weekends with somebody. They want what you want, and what you want wants you. And you have to say what you want and mean what you say. So do you want a partner who shares your interests and values, who wants to meet someone and create a meaningful relationship and have a home and perhaps a family with, and go traveling and do family Christmases and holidays and that kind of stuff? Or are you looking for someone that you can grow with emotionally and intellectually? Or do you want to build a family, a long-term commitment based on trust and love and respect? Because if they are the things that you want, then that's what you need to be saying in your profile. So, like, many young men get stuck in casual dating because they're not honest about their true desires. They think it'll put women off. Well, it only puts off the women that you don't want, and it doesn't attract the women that you do want. So, relationship expert Matthew Hussey, known for helping women and men find lasting love, he emphasizes that understanding your needs and values is critical to attracting the right partner. So, once again, ask yourself, am I looking for someone who satisfies a temporary desire, or do I want someone who can be a true partner? And once you know what you're aiming for, it becomes easier to identify the actions and then the environments that will support those goals. So the second step then is evaluate, where are you meeting women? So if you regularly go to clubs and pubs and bars or on dating apps that prioritize casual encounters, well, it's no wonder you're struggling to make a meaningful connection. And the key to change lies in shifting where and how you meet potential partners. So, a couple of things you can do is change your environment. If you want to meet women who are interested in serious relationships, then focus on places where meaningful connections are more likely to happen. So, try attending events, workshops, courses, social activities that are centered around your interests. Join groups or communities where people value long-term commitment and growth, whether that's a book club, a fitness class, or a volunteering event, or a workshop or a course of some kind. Um, Relationship coach Ivan Mark Katz often advises men to stop chasing women in places that don't align with their values and instead focus on environments where women who share your long-term goals and relationship values are likely to be found. The third step is to align your action with your values. So it's one thing to say you want a long-term meaningful relationship, but are your actions supporting that? So just here's a few questions to really sit down and ponder on and ask yourself. You can stop the video and make a note. Are you looking for instant gratification in dating? Or are you taking the time to really get to know someone? It does take time to get to know people. People often are not especially attracted to each other at the beginning. There might, there's all kinds of levels and aspects to attraction. So are you presenting yourself as someone ready for commitment, or are you coming over as someone just looking for a good time? Now, that's what happens. A lot of people's profiles that I've seen, they are putting down, and it looks like somebody who's just out to have a good time, or somebody who's just out for, casual dating. And it's not really showing what they really want. And I mean, just recently I was at a great conference with involved Julia and John Gottman, who are the world's experts on relationships, and they study relationships extensively, what makes relationships work. And they highlight the importance of aligning your behaviors with your relationship goals. So if you want a meaningful connection, you need to act in ways that show you're serious and show that that is what you want. So this means being intentional about how you communicate about it, what you're willing to give, and how patient you are in actually building a connection, building a friendship, building emotional intimacy. And actually, you do need to know how to go about doing that, because I will tell you, um, I've seen thousands of people over the years about relationships, and the vast majority of them have never bothered to uh, really look at how do they go about building emotional intimacy. Um, they don't know, but they expect somehow that it'll just descend from on high, and then suddenly they'll know. Actually, you need to learn this. It is a bit like learning to drive. You take lessons. There are some theories to it, and once you know the theories, and once you know the rules of the road and the highway code, actually you can finish up getting a license, and off you go. And probably now you drive without even having to think about it too much. Well, relationships are the same. There are relationship skills. And my strapline has been lessons that they didn't teach at school. Nobody teaches you this stuff. Nobody teaches you how to be emotionally honest, how to build emotional intimacy, or even how to build emotional intelligence. And that is step 4. You know, if you want to up your game in terms of dating and finding more suitable partners, then you have to build your uh, emotional intelligence, which is about um, the ability to understand and to manage your emotions. And that's essential for attracting and maintaining a healthy relationship. So, one of the reasons that casual encounters often feel unfulfilling is that they don't require emotional depth. Um, but long-term relationships thrive on emotional intimacy and empathy and connection and mutual understanding. And you know, if you've been emotionally guarded or you tend to avoid vulnerability, well, it's time to change that and start working on your emotional intelligence. So you do that by practicing self-awareness, understand how your emotions affect your actions, especially when it comes to dating. You need to improve your communication and learn how to express your feelings and listen actively to the other person's needs and develop empathy. Being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes will deepen your connection with them. And I would say, as well as that, another thing is to check out and be aware of your own attachment style. And there's 5 attachment styles that you need to be aware of, and you need to know which one's yours and how to recognize the other ones. So when you are dating someone, you can spot their attachment style. And I suggest that if you're not sure what that all means, you watch my other video on the importance of attachment. So, Dr. Alexandra Solomon, she's a well known relationship therapist, she often says relational self awareness is the key to healthy partnership. This means knowing not only what you want, but also how to contribute to the dynamic of a relationship. Being aware of it and consciously aware and knowing how you are contributing and being emotionally intelligent helps you to connect, definitely helps you to connect on a deeper level, which is crucial for sustaining a meaningful partnership. You know, these things are more important than the six pack or the being at the gym or the good looks. And, you know, yeah, it's an inside job. Most of this is an inside job. So learn about relationships. And step 5 is to be patient and persistent. Building a meaningful relationship, it doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, it requires persistence, and sometimes it is a bit of trial and error. You may not meet the right person immediately, and most people don't, but every date or interaction brings you closer to understanding what you need in a partner. So stay committed to your goal and don't settle for less than what aligns with your core values. And if you don't know what your core values are, then I suggest that you watch my video, which is on core values, so that you know what your core values actually are. And it's great fodder for conversation when you're chatting to somebody over dinner or a drink, and you're actually saying explicitly, here's my core values, how about you? And it, you know, it gives you food for meaningful conversation. And experts like Esther Perel, she she reminds us that the quality of our relationships determines the quality of our lives. And that is so true. If you're in a mediocre relationship, the quality of your life is going to be mediocre. If you're in a relationship where somebody likes to dispute everything and argue about everything, and who likes to be right about everything, it's not going to be really good. You know, it does definitely determine the quality of your life. So don't rush into the next fling just because you feel lonely. Instead, trust the process and focus on building the foundation for a partnership that will last. And, you know, use some of the time in between times to learn about what makes relationships work, not how the other sex or the other person or gender can find you attractive. I know lots of very, very, very attractive people, and they're very, very lonely because they haven't been able to um, develop that skill of connecting. And mostly the ones who do make the connections are not the ones who are tall, dark, and handsome with a six pack. So, step 6 is about cultivating step worth. And this is essential to recognize that the relationship you desire absolutely starts with how you view yourself. And if you're stuck in shallow meetings and encounters, it might be that you have a lack of self-worth or a fear of rejection. So do work on improving your self-esteem and understanding that you deserve a relationship that matches your values. Um, you know, and there are always other people whose values match yours. So you just need to know where to find them, where to go look for them, and know what those values are and where that type of person is going to be around. Um, so practice self-care, invest time in your personal growth, and set boundaries. Learn to say no to relationships or situations that don't serve your long-term goals. And surround yourself with supportive people, your friends and social circle. Be explicit with them. You know, when my first marriage ended, and I was kind of recovering, I spent 10 years single, and pretty well most of that 10 years I would repeatedly say, I don't want a relationship. I just don't want one. And part of me definitely did not want a relationship because I had been very badly hurt, and I actually was needing to recover. And so I was avoiding relationships like the plague, and everything that came out of my mouth was, I don't want a relationship. But I got lonely, and it does get lonely. Even though I did start to get happy with myself, and that was great, and I needed to do that, and I would suggest everybody needs a period of being with themselves, and to learn to get happy with yourself, and then that way you will be more likely to attract another happy person. So surround yourself with supportive people, people who lift you up and encourage you, and they understand, and they know it's not that you don't want a relationship, you want a relationship that works. And a relationship that's all about just looks, but whether it's you or the other person, it's not gonna be sustainable. Another relationship expert, Jordan Gray, often stresses the importance of working on yourself first before seeking a serious relationship. So when you feel confident and secure and grounded in your values, you do naturally attract somebody who complements that. So finding a relationship that aligns with your values. So if you're tired of feeling lonely and stuck in casual relationships, it's time to shift your focus. So take time out, learn as much as you can about attachment styles, relationship skills, and reflect, learn what do you really want, and allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to say, I do really want a relationship. I really want a relationship with someone who shares my values, who wants the same kind of lifestyle that I want, who has the same wishes and hopes for their life, who would share it with me. That's what you want. Emotional intelligence and patience and self-worth are the keys to attracting and sustaining the relationship you truly desire. So remember, finding a partner, in a life partner, is not about luck. It's about the choices that you make, where you hang out, and the choices that you make and where you hang out reflect your deepest values. Have a vision for the future. Without a progressive vision, the people perish. So watch out for my video on um, having a progressive vision. So I hope that was useful and helpful. And if you want some more of these videos, do click like and subscribe. And I'll see you again. Bye for now.